Welcome to a new update, and it's insane. The market has been turning massively bullish. We are seeing a parabolic movement of Bitcoin in the past few weeks and actually in the past few days, and we're getting to the peak high of this bull cycle in which these parabolic movements are a few dollars a day. Bitcoin can't climb out of the range of 56 to 57k. And we're still waiting for a breakout to take place, but in between we're seeing parabolic movements. It is crazy. The market is absolutely retarded at this point, and we are printing so much money. It's absolutely unbelievable. But today we're going to discuss Bitcoin and Ether once again. It's kind of boring. I mean, Bitcoin is still waiting for a movement to be taking place, still unsure which way we are going to go. As we're still chopping around, and every day you wake up and you see a new retest of 56k taking place, but it's not breaking that level. So that's what we're going to discuss today. We're also diving a little bit into Ether, as I've stated yesterday that I did not like the ETH Bitcoin 3-day candle too much. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. But before we're going to continue, do not forget to subscribe beneath to this YouTube channel. If you did not check out my day one interview, that's for Dutch people only, please do. It's in the description beneath. Also, do not forget to check out our giveaway. We've announced the first two winners for the 0.01 Bitcoin. And today we're going to announce the winners for the crypto tech. And we've got a new giveaway today for 5 times 1 year TradingView Pro. The winners will be announced tomorrow. Also, do not forget to check me out on Twitter and Instagram. Daily content being posted there. I'm going to start posting more on Instagram too, which is going to be fun, and especially next week will be lots of fun as I'm going to pick up my new baby. So yeah, that's about it. Let's get to the point of Bitcoin and Ether at this point. We're going to dive into the fact of a longer cycle tomorrow on YouTube. Benjamin is saying it for a few years. I've been saying it also for the past 6 to 9 months, or actually already earlier, but not really dedicating too much time to it. But I'm assuming that we're going to have another bull cycle in 2022, and that we're going to peak out somewhere in May or /summer of that year, through which we're getting a lengthening cycle. Why is that? Well, we're diving into that tomorrow, but the fact that the halving is going to have less of an impact, and macroeconomic it will be having more of an impact to the markets. But now we're looking at the price action of Ethereum and Bitcoin. Bitcoin is remaining stable. Altcoins have seen some pain, but Cardano has been waking up yesterday. Atom is waking up today. So left and right, we're getting some movements. But Bitcoin has to make a decision. And the longer we stay here, the lower the volume will be, and the heavier the breakout will be at some point too. So that's something to keep in mind. And that's what we're going to discuss in the chart section. So let's dive into the charts. So when we're looking into the charts of Bitcoin at this point, I'm still relatively cautious because of the fact that we are seeing conflicting arguments, right? We're still chopping around here. We are not making any movement. We are not confirming any breakout yet because volume is also relatively low at this point, and we're just in this range once again. We have been acting inside that range for a while, and now we are back in the exact same range and chopping around there for a little. So we're just concluding or waiting for a breakout to be taking place. To be honest, the fact that we are hanging here is not really cool. The fact that we are having lower highs and lower lows make me assume that we're going to have another lower low taking place here, or at least a retest of this level for support to see whether we can actually continue holding that level in order to see enough buyers stepping into the markets to result in a potential reversal, given the fact that this bounce back up immediately got rejected at the first real resistance point. And right now, even if we look at lower time frames, we are just chopping around in a very narrow range, in which if we're looking at this lower time frame, I'm going to see that the moment we are breaking out of this range, which is between 56.1 and 57.3, if we break out of that range, that's going to bring us a new impulse move. So breaking out of this block, then we're retesting 60 again, and most likely going to result into an upwards move. If we lose 56, you already know what I'm going to assume. I think that we're going to nosedive and have a new lower low, as then the trend just continues. So at this point, the market is waiting for such a momentum or such a breakout to be taking place. Kind of boring, in which we do know that the moment that it starts to shift, we most likely get a heavy impulse wave taking the momentum of the markets right now. But also during this period, it's time to investigate altcoins, investigate your investings, improve yourself as a trader or investor, because the time is just, there's not much happening at this point. So that's probably what you should be doing. And it's funny that right now the hype around Bitcoin and Ethereum is not as much as that we've seen in April and May, and also not as much as we've seen in December 2017. So the euphoria is completely not there, and we're still waiting for that to come around once again. So we're waiting for that breakout between the narrow range to take place. In between time, we've had a beautiful run of Cardano taking place, still following this scenario. And as you know, I've discussed this yesterday on my YouTube, in which we clearly stated that if it wants to make any move at all, you want to see a breakout above this resistance point, as a breakout above that level would guarantee or at least make a flip, and then we start to continue moving upwards once again. For now, we're just having a rejection taking place and just a bounce in a downtrend, but we could potentially have a reversal taking place, as we potentially have this bullish divergence. Now Ethereum against Bitcoin. I've got this scenario, but in order to actually discuss that, I'll discuss the 3-day candle here. We've got a breakout, right? We had a breakout above the recent high, but immediately it was sold off, resulting in this wick. That is kind of tricky, and the moment that we're going to drop beneath that level once again, I think we're going to result in a pretty heavy red candle, resulting in a correction. If something breaks out of its all-time high, you want to see strength. You want to see continuation taking place. We could still be seeing it, and that's why we're going to look at lower time frames too. But it is something to keep in mind, because the fact that we are seeing this false breakout or not strong breakout, we've also been seeing that on and on and on with Bitcoin this year, in which we try to break the all-time high, come back down, try to break again, come back down, and then correct. And that might be the case with Ethereum against Bitcoin here too, because you just want to see accelerated strength of buyers stepping in. An example what we've seen here is we broke the all-time, or we broke out of the range, and we started to accelerate quite fast. We broke out of the range, started to accelerate quite fast. Same goes with all those breakouts here. We break a point here, start to accelerate quite fast. We could still be seeing it, but this wick is not really showing too much buyer strength. It's actually showing seller strength at this point. And when we're looking at lower time frames, we're still seeing that the actual level is being flipped here. So that is something that's really good. But the moment we're going to test it again and create a lower high, the result is most likely that we're going to have a correction all the way towards here. So it's kind of tricky. And when we get to that point, we might be getting this scenario here, in which if we get this trigger and drop back in the range, this is a short entry, resulting in potentially in correction even further before we start to expand ourselves. So Ethereum is still in an uptrend, but something to keep in mind after this breakout, that it's not really looking too strong. I'm back later today with a price prediction for a coin that I've not been discussing too much. Do not forget to subscribe beneath and like this YouTube channel.